My name is Alex. I have an Instagram and YouTube Love Sugar Show. So I want to thank you and welcome you to the show.
I want to thank you for taking the time to listen and talk with me.
Well, appreciate it. So I have to start with the same question that I ask anyone that I ever interview is how's everything going in your world today? Not just like musically, but also in your personal life as well, because that also matters.
Whoa, that could go really weird and really deep. So I'll skim the surface and say that I went through a thing last week that I'm getting over, and a neighbor brought me homemade macaroni and cheese 2 days ago to get well.
Aw.
And it has been, this is day 3 of homemade macaroni and cheese, and I just ate that 3 minutes ago. So I'm coming into this interview macaroni and cheesed, like a glorious macaroni and cheesing. Feeling great.
It's amazing. I'm not gonna lie, I love macaroni and cheese, so homemade is the best. Can't beat it.
Yeah, big, I don't even know what you call the noodles. Like they're giant curly Q noodles that she used too. The soaked in the cheese and giant chunks of bacon she put in there. So
Wow.
yeah, it was extreme and intense and very not vegetarian friendly.
Well, how's everything going musically?
It's going okayishly. Just trying to figure out. I am a scatterbrained mess today, so I'll apologize in advance. Super happy to have this 10-year anniversary of our Fiber record, which still one of my favorite things. So starting from there, hopefully we're getting some new ears on this thing.
Yeah. Well, definitely have a lot of questions about the album and the interview, so excited to kind of dive in.
For sure.
So
And in short, like, how are you?
I mean, I'm good. It's warm out. My dogs have been walked. They're sleeping right now, so life is good.
Where are you?
I'm in Tennessee.
Ah, so we share the same weather,
Yeah.
essentially.
I like warm weather, so it works.
Good.
But I have to ask, how does it feel having your album from 2016, which it's crazy that it's so long ago? Because I think of 2016, I'm like, oh, it's a few years ago. But no, it's like 10 years ago now. But how does it feel like kind of going from then to now?
I feel like we lost 5 years. So we definitely lost 5 years from COVID. Like, just it seems like everything was just gone or dumb and done, and it's
Yeah.
yeah. So it essentially feels like it was only 5 years ago. Um, so it feels, despite being 10 years old, it still feels kind of fresh. To answer your question.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I mean, at least you're not like, oh, it's like, 10 years. Like, it's crazy how time flies so quickly, which I think is a good thing because I guess it means you're having fun. But I know last time when this album came out, there was like limited edition, like vinyls and cassettes, which were sold out. This time around, are you doing anything like that as well?
We're not doing any physical release for this right now. We considered another run of tapes, but we might just let this be sold out for a minute.
Yeah.
uh, instead of self-financing another a repress of the vinyl, which once we get a little bit back on the road again, so we can move those, that's where we move our merch and albums is on the road. So
Yeah.
primarily. Um, so trying to figure out what's going on with 2027 for touring, or late this year, since the way the industry has shifted. It's like booking so far in advance now,
Oh, wow.
for at least at our level, which is,
Yeah.
low for the low level bands. It's a considerable. We need to get things done. What seems almost 2027 at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like cassettes have came back in. Like I see a lot of bands releasing like cassette tapes, and I'm like, I thought people didn't want those anymore, but it's like it's coming back in, which I'm like, cool. I remember those.
Yeah, we had a lot of people. We had a lot of represses on the cassettes and CDs for this record. Like it was kind of bonkers. And we had a lot of conversation at the merch booth too. It was like, what's going on? Like, oh, we just want to walk away with something from your booth, and the cassette comes with a download thing, so we don't even have a cassette player, so it just looks cool. And I'm like, oh, that,
Okay.
you know, and there were some very happy tape enthusiasts. So we, at the time, we got the super duper metal highlight, the super high fidelity tape, the audiophile stuff that wasn't that expensive to manufacture. It was a great little merch piece, and the folks who actually listened to tapes at the time were very happy.
Well,
Too
that's
much
exciting.
information.
So, what was like the most exciting part about remastering this album?
I mean, it was. I mean, we just handed the files back over to our engineer Dan, who initially recorded it and initially mastered it, and that was the. I guess to answer your question, the most exciting part was when we were done, when it was done and remastered, listening to it and having it crush our speakers.
That's good. I mean, as long as your speakers are okay after.
Barely.
Was it surreal, kind of like, I guess, having an album that was like 10 years ago and then having it remastered?
It, man, I loved the original master,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, like this new one makes it crush even harder. So yeah, surreal to re-experience a lot of these songs, which we really haven't even played in 10 years. So outside of the single fiber, and we just played Alone for the first time, I guess on one of our last tours, maybe last fall. It was nice to revisit that, but yeah, actually actively listening to it again. Man, what a cool album. I think it holds the test of time, but you know, I have a
Yeah.
bias.
Well, that's cool though. I mean, is there like any growth that you've seen in yourself, like as an artist, when you listen to it, like from then to now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a gelatinous blob of aural weirdness. I've grown and smeared across a palette and come back, and despite where I'm at now, those songs could easily feel at home in something that I'd be doing today, which I think is cool.
That's
But
a good thing though. It means it's standing the test of time. It's not like, oh yeah, I never would do that now.
yeah, yeah, it's like, oh man, those were some cool ideas. That's it's nice to revisit this. Inspired by my own old work. That's some narcissist leaning stuff, but okay.
If it works, right? So, what kind of emotions came back when you were hearing the album again? But it's, not the same, but it is the kind of the same, just a remastered version of it.
More so emotion around the time because we were doing really well and with that record and uh, the EP after that before COVID kind of knocked us down three or four rungs. So it was truly exciting to play a lot of the shows and the small tours we had done around that time. Nice to reminisce about whoa, how different on the smaller side of things in the touring world, uh, how different and more excited folks were about just coming to shows, smaller independent shows, and
Yeah.
it's definitely a different landscape now for loud heavy music,
Is it like,
loud independent heavy music.
is that like a better change or is it for the worse or is it just different?
Uh, It's it's been pretty brutal. Not a good change.
Well, hopefully it comes back because I think smaller shows, I mean, It just has a more family feel. I feel like it doesn't matter like who the band is. It feels more intimate. I think with like smaller shows versus, you're packed in like sardines, which I like
Yeah.
those shows too. Hearing this album kind of remastered, which I'm assuming you probably listened to it several times since
Yeah.
it's been, remastered. Has your relationship with any of the songs changed?
Um, I, I've been estranged to many of the songs up until now. So, yeah, the Fiber, the title track, we've been playing since then, and depending on who was playing drums at the time, it definitely takes a different feel on uh, yearly. It seems. So that song I do love, and I do. I mean, I love all the songs, but it's really neat to hear some of these old songs again.
How much involvement did the band have in the remastering process, if any?
Just hands off. Handed it to our engineer, and I was like, "What? What? It's 10 years. Let's commemorate this." And he's like, "Man, the engineer himself." He's like, "That mastering job was great. I don't know. Let me see what I can do." But he made it hotter, crispier, and more thunderous in the low end, which it's incredible in our car now. And it was great in our car before, but it's like, whoa, okay, the 2026 treatment.
Well, that's
Yeah,
awesome. And why do you think this album has continued to resonate with listeners even a decade later?
that's you tell me. I have no idea. I guess because it's good, you know. Yeah, shrug. Yeah, I think it's a great record, and the songs are. We have our own little path that we've gone down that has a familiar sound uh,
Mhm.
that folks, but the songs are, I don't, not to sound arrogant or anything, the songs are kind of timeless sounding. Like, so yeah, it sounds like something that could have been released 15 years ago or yesterday, I guess, in a good way.
Yeah. Were there any like emotions that were put into this album that you think may have helped it carry the test of time that make it timeless?
Just being true to myself with my own emotions, which I wear heavily on my sleeve. So yeah, crushing depression and all the good things that come with that, which are a catalyst for me to actually have a cathartic expression through music. If that makes sense. I feel like I might be just yammering on. Did that?
Oh no, you're good. Do you think this is a good album for people that might be suffering from like the same mental things that are going on? Like maybe can help them get through it because they know they're not alone?
Depends. I mean, it could be good or bad, depending on where the person may be. But that's the beauty of music. I mean, it's up to the listener to interpret. So you know, um, yeah, some very happy albums have come into some dark times for me, and some very dark albums have lifted me up in dark times in the past. So I would assume, with me being my own sample size, that it could be the same or similar for other folks who are, you know, even just not even down the dumps, not even flat with terrible depression. Just cool. It music as an emotional experience in general. Like, yeah, it's just the sauce that can get you through. What am I trying to say here? Music is delicious sauce, and you just need to find the right sauce for the meal that is your life or your problems that it can spice up or take you down or get your blood flowing if you're like a hardcore kid and you just want to go like throw punches, or if you want to come to a Dead Register show and fold your arms and sit there like you're disinterested, which is kind of real talk. Like our Grave music video from this record.
Yeah.
At the end of the latter half of the video, we got a bunch of our friends to dress as very bored ghosts with their arms folded, watching us listlessly which was kind of an inside joke. Speaking of circular things, and that's how a lot of our audience is. It's like when I look out and people are just not moving and staring at us with a flat, blank expression. I'm like, wow, I'm doing a poor job of whatever it is I'm supposed to be doing, but talking to folks after the show is like, wow, I was mesmerized, or oh, I was entranced, or oh, I was high or something. I think I answered your question, but man, do I like to ramble.
Well, that's better than they come up to you at the end of the show and they're like, man, I was just so bored. I was waiting for it to end.
I was so bored that I had to make it a point to come tell you at the merch booth.
But it would make sense if they're like entranced, that they're just sitting there like taking everything in. So I feel like that's like a really huge compliment.
Yeah, yeah, it's and we try to take that compliment, but it's rough sometimes, like looking out and it's like frown, scowl, arms folded, nobody's moving. We've had some weird moments where people break out into violent pits at our shows, which I'm like, what? How is that even happening? Not often, but
Yeah.
I've seen it and it's awkward. I'm like, all right, you're bumping into that guy who's frowning with his arms folded, and you knocked him out of his hypnosis or whatever, man.
You at least get some smiles in there, like
Yeah, like if there's the only time I see somebody smile if there's like some between song stage antics where we are dealing with a problem,
yeah.
and and that's fun. That's the beauty of live music is like, okay, what's actually going to happen on stage tonight? So,
Yeah, that is true. So, since it's been a while for you to reflect on this album, is there anything that you would change on it? Like if you could go back and like redo a title or a lyric or just the way something sounds?
oh, I found the pre-production for this record this morning and listened to it, and we had 10 songs, not including this additional bonus track, which would have made 11 that we were considering to be on it. And we wanted to keep it short enough to just be 44 minutes for a vinyl pressing.
Yeah.
So, in hindsight, it would have been gratifying just for me just to have all 11 of those songs on there instead of six. But that I'm digging hard for an answer for you. So there it is.
Well, maybe, I mean, next album, there's an idea.
Yeah, there actually we have maybe one or two of the songs that were around during this time that I think, yeah, maybe, yeah, two of the songs on that are going to be our new tracks are stuff from around this era that never made it to a record.
Oh, well, that's exciting because
Yeah.
it's less for you to do. It's already done.
Ish, done ish, it's
Close.
still, yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Well, what song on this album is like your favorite?
Uh, uh, it depends on my mood, but the last song, Incendiary, which is a really difficult, slow, and painful song to play and listen to. That it's just painfully slow. It isn't that slow. It's like I think like 55 BPM, but it is not rock and roll tempo
Yeah.
uh, in any way. But playing that live was just devastating for me in a good way. So listening back to that, uh, the man, if I had a quarter for all the times I've said in this interview, I would have a very fancy frozen blended coffee drink. So apologies for all the uhs.
You're good.
Yeah, I'll say incendiary in short. Yeah.
Awesome. Why is it? I know you said it's like your favorite and it's like really slow but devastating, but in a good way. Can you kind of explain that emotion a little bit?
It just feels like the uh, end of the world, end of all things, desperation, final cry as I go out burning. If if that weird, vague, opaque answer uh, does that fill the gap?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have one last question here for you. After spending time with this album 10 years later, what do you hope listeners take away from the remastered version that may not have been there before?
Ah, man, there's the correct answer, and then there's what I think I should say. Uh, what should listeners take away? I think that I just want people to listen, and I think it's a glacially monolithic heap of gross yet beautiful emotion. Like folks have said, it's bleak yet hopeful. And I definitely still feel that now, and hopefully listeners, not only on the surface level, like, yo, bro, that song was sick or something, that they can actually, it actually evokes folks give it a long enough ear to actually feel it and to feel in general, because that's where I'm at, and I'm happy to share that in musical form with anyone out there who wants to click play on whatever streaming service that they use.
Well, awesome. For anyone watching the interview, you have to wait a little bit because it doesn't hit until May the 22nd. And it's the album actually behind me, Fiber, but it's the 10th anniversary remastered from AVR. And it's an experience. That's the only way I can describe this album is it's an experience and a journey from the start to the end. So you definitely want to make sure to check it out. I'll leave everything below the video so you can pre-order it or order it if this interview is already out.
Yeah, and we have a very special fiber shirt that April made for this release to accompany it as a little bundle. So get the shirt and a digital download at Bandcamp, and it's only available through Bandcamp right now. And that's yeah, we have. It's a very cool shirt. It just came in. I just got a test of it yesterday, and I'm like, whoa, what a neat shirt. It's an alternate artwork from the album cover.
Thank you so much for taking your time for doing this interview and hope you enjoy the rest of your day.